City of mine, how I love the city of mine. It never gets me down. City of mine, how I love the city of mine. It never gets me down, yeah.
I was born in the city, I was raised on its edges. My pop work is life when it's complex. I found love in its center. If I could live here forever, think it'd be for the better. I love the weather, even though it's fog 24/7. I love the people, this is city. I met all my best friends, and I wanna thank every break. I wanna thank every entrance to every building that I step in this city of mine. Oh, you most my best moments in life.
Hello, happy Mancha over here. Welcome my people. Welcome, this is Botswana, and today guys I am going to give you information about the cost of living in my country. I hope you stay tuned. If this information is informative to you, just know that it's just basic information from me as a Botswana living in Botswana. But if you do come to Botswana, if you are interested in living in Botswana, please do your research and make sure that you have all the information that you need. So guys, you know what to do. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Make sure you leave a comment, like, share with your family and friends, and hit that notification bell. Make sure you're notified every time I upload a video. Now the first thing that I'm gonna start with is talking about the rent. Now rent here in my country differs from the kind of house that you're renting, whether it's an apartment or a standalone. A standalone is a house that's independently on its own. So now I'm gonna start with an apartment. You can rent a one-bedroom apartment ranging from about $250 to about $400. Now that in Pula will mean that you're paying around 2.8 Pula, that's a one-bedroom apartment, to about 4,000 Pula. But you can still get the same price range for a two-bedroom apartment. Now it's the same as a standalone. You can get a standalone at that same price. A house that's independently on its own yard, you can get it at the same amount. Moving on to about three-bedroom house, 2, 4, or 5. Now that will cost you more money. Obviously it's a big space, so now you will have to pay around $500 to about $800. That's 5,000 Pula to 8,000 Pula. So guys, now let's move on to transportation. Transportation in my country, we have combis, a minibus ride, and then we have taxis. A taxi is like a shared mini car. So a combi, you can get it at 6 Pula, that's like 60 cents. And a taxi, you get it at 7 Pula, which is 70 cents. Now these combis will take you everywhere you want to go in town, but if you happen to go outside of town, obviously the money is different depending on where and how far you are going. Now let's move on to where you can buy food, your toiletries, and much more. We have a lot of shopping malls here in my country. We have grocery supermarkets, we have Shoppies, we have Spar, we have Pick and Pay, we have Woolworths. You can get your groceries and toiletries there. Pharmacies, we have clinics. You can get your medication in those places. You can get your toiletries in those places as well. Now moving on, let's talk about fuel prices. Now that's a tricky one because of recent, since the pandemic, the fuel price had gone down and now it's at its peak. So now a liter of fuel, which is petrol, is about 12 Pula 65. That's like 10 cents a liter. And then diesel, it's about 12 Pula 45. It's also about 10 cents. So it just depending on how big your tank is to understand how much you will spend on the fuel and the diesel. Moving on to the next one, the schools. we have a lot of schools here in my country, from kindergarten to university level. And yeah, most of the schools here in my country, if you are a foreigner, you can still go to a government school, but of course with a price. Most of the schools here, for the locals, government schools, you don't have to pay anything except for the services like textbooks and so forth, and maybe food. That is just a little amount to about 100 which is like $10. And then we have private schools. Private schools are, well, quite expensive. If you want your kids to go to a private school, you're looking at paying around $500 to about maybe $2,000 or $3,000, depending on the private school that you want to take your kid to. Obviously they're different, and yeah, you will have to research more about the private schools that you want your kids to go to. We have Thornhill, we have Lehigh Academy, we have Rainbow. There is just a lot of private schools here in my country. So guys, since you know that when you travel, obviously you have to put your health forth. So now I'm gonna talk about where you can get treatments if you happen to fall sick in a foreign land. As you know, you are advised as a foreigner to have a medical insurance when you visit a foreign country. So I advise most people who come to Botswana to have a medical insurance. Still, with the medical insurance, there is no way you'll be in a country and you wouldn't be assisted if you fall sick. We have government hospitals, which you do not pay so much. You will pay about $2 to be assisted. Then we have private hospitals that for consultancy, they will probably charge you about $10 to about $20 for you to get medical treatment. And we have a lot of pharmacies where you can get your medication, but obviously with prescription. So we have hospitals like Sidileha, we have hospitals like Gaborone Private Hospital. For those who are interested in going to private hospitals, you have a few range of those private hospitals and clinics, private practices. So now the government hospitals are for everyone, are for locals. If you want to save money, you can always go to a local clinic or hospital. You still get the same service as you are getting at a private hospital. Now guys, let's talk about entertainment. Well, as you have seen in my previous videos, Botswana love having fun. Obviously we have a lot of restaurants, we have clubs, we have even events that are planned and they happen occasionally. So now going to a club, obviously there's entry fees. You pay about $10 to get it in a club, but they differ. It depends on which club this is and its location. Restaurants is just, you go there, you sit, you order your drinks. Drinks range from about $1.50 to about $100, depending on the drink that you want. Obviously at $100 we are talking about champagne, but when we talk about $1.50, we are talking about a normal cider drink or lager in the restaurants and in clubs. Then we talk about food. As you have seen in my previous video guys, local food ranges from $2. Only $2 you get a full plate of food. But then when you go to a restaurant, an exclusive restaurant, you want to sit, have a drink, you're looking at a price of $6 going up to about $30 of platters, steak, pasta. It just depends on what you want to eat at that moment. Then you know the price range of food in a restaurant ranges from $6 to about $30. Last but not least guys, let me talk about accommodation for a short stay for about 3 days or even a week or 2 weeks. We have Airbnbs. As you have seen on my previous video, I did talk about an Airbnb that was so reasonably priced at $15. So they will range from that up to maybe $40, and a lot more guest houses that range from about $30 to maybe $60. And then we have like big hotels, 5-star hotels. We have room 52, we have Protea, we have Hilton. I'm sure you guys are familiar with the ones that I've mentioned before. And yeah, they will range from about $80 to about $120, depending on the date. You know, the date also matters on when you are booking and for how many days. So guys, please let me know if there's any more thing that you want me to add on to the cost of living here in Botswana. But like I said, this information that I'm giving you is just basic information that you need to know in case you want to relocate to Botswana. And you have to do your research, guys. Do your research before you relocate to a certain place. I hope you find this very helpful. This was the best information that I could give through my own knowledge of living in Botswana and my own experience. But if there is any detail that I've left that you would like me to enlighten you about, please leave a comment and I will get back to you on that note. So guys, thank you so much. You do subscribe, my lovelies, and I hope you enjoy your day. From me, it's all love. Mwah, toodles.
Was down the ice place while we roll up a blunt, and me and Jack will get stoned, walk around and get lost. Don't think I'll ever truly